friends, how are you all? This is a video seeking expert advice and suggestion from all the senior employees that are working in central government and various state government firms and organizations. Now we have three types of pension schemes in our India. One is old pension scheme OPS versus new pension scheme or national pension scheme NPS. Many states call it as CPS, contributory pension scheme, and recently Andhra Pradesh government changed it to GPS, guaranteed pension scheme, versus the recently launched UPS, unified pension scheme, which will be implemented from 1st April 2025. Now let's have a closer look. Friends, this video is not for educative or informative purpose, but it's a doubt session kind of thing, asking expert advice and suggestions in the form of comments, so that many other employees, newly joined employees, and those who have 5 to 6 years of experience as employees may not decide which one is better for them, NPS or UPS. Anyway, they cannot switch to OPS because OPS is abolished. Now employees have been demanding OPS, but that was not given, but instead UPS, which is a hybrid, which is a combination of NPS and OPS, is being implemented from 1st April 2025. So in UPS, assured pension of 50%, that is the average basic pay of the last 12 months prior to the retirement, once an employee completes a service of 25 years. If he is completing minimum of 10 years, he is eligible for a pension of 10,000, and anything between 10 to 25 pro rata basis they will give the pension. And family pension would be 60% of the pension of the employee after the death of the employee. So anyway, inflation index will be taken based on AICPay, IW, as it is given for DA and DR for the pensions right now. Now similarly, every 6 months it will be sanctioned, so yearly 2 times it will be sanctioned. And lump sum payout is another thing. At superannuation, technically retirement is called as superannuation. At the time of superannuation, lump sum amount, which is 10% of the monthly emoluments, that is basic pay plus DA, and for every 6 months taken as a unit. I think if a person is having 40 years of service, 80 units into 10% of the monthly emoluments will be given as lump sum amount. If you see, for an employee of having 1 lakh salary, employee contribution will be nothing in OPS because employees need not contribute anything, but government contribution will be full in old pension scheme. And old pension scheme has been abolished after 2024 April. So all employees, those who joined after 2004 1st April, are having NPS. In here 10% of employees contribution and 10% of government contribution was there. Anyway, that was changed to 14% of government contribution. Now employees are contributing 10% and government is contributing 14%. In the UPS, the contribution from employee will remain same as 10%, but government will contribute 18.5%, and which will be revised after every 3 years to adjust to the fund requirements accordingly. And this 10% will be on the basic plus DA of the employee. So it is a balanced approach between OPS and NPS, because 10% of from employee contribution will be there, but in OPS there was no government contribution, but in UPS 18.5%, which is 4.5% higher than NPS, will be there. So guaranteed pension will be there. In NPS there is no guaranteed pension, but based on the market conditions we have to purchase annuity. Based on that we will get that depends upon the stock markets at the time of retirement. So the minimum requirement would be 25 years of service for an employee. So if a person is having 1 lakh salary, so he has to contribute 10% from his account, and 14%, 14,000 every month. 24,000 will be split into 3 parts, and in 3 different mutual funds it will be invested. But in UPS 18.5% plus 10%, 28.5% will be invested in pension fund, which will be given as payout at the retirement date. So what would be the monthly pension that will be given as assured pension? In OPS it will be 50%, that is if your salary is 1 lakh you will be getting 50,000. In UPS you will be getting 60%, that is 60,000. And NPS is market linked, so we cannot decide. It depends upon the market factor. Like it is a situation like 2008 or corona phase, you may get less amount, but if it is a phase like current market situation where Sensex is touching constant highs, there you may be getting more. Family pension will be 50% in the OPS, which will be 25,000, and in UPS it will be 60%, that is 36,000. So here you can see 10% increase is there in UPS. So as we already discussed, based on the cost index ASCPI IW, every 6 months DR will be given to employees. So let's have a close look at these three schemes: OPS, NPS, UPS. So we are having three different types of pension schemes in India right now. So this will be, UPS will be implemented for more than 25 lakhs employees, and government is also directing other state governments to follow UPS. So you can see 50% plus DA will be given as pension, and in NPS we cannot decide, it largely depends upon the market conditions. And employee contribution will be nil in OPS, and then employment contribution will be 10% and 10%, whereas government contribution is 14% right now in NPS, and it will be 18.5% in UPS. Gratuity is there in all three formats, but in NPS gratuity is not given to all employees. Certain types of institutes, largely we can call autonomous bodies, are not giving gratuity right now. So from GPF, so employee needs to contribute 10% to GPF General Provident Fund, and sometimes it was changed to contribute to pension fund CPF. So whatever it may be, from that they can withdraw the corpus, and on some important requirement they can also withdraw the amount. In NPS also, for marriage purpose, for the education purpose of the child, and any health emergency, three times from the employee's contribution without any interest, 25% can be withdrawn. So this feature was not before, initially it was not there, but government added, there were some changes, and one such change was increasing to 14%. So inflation index is there on OPS and UPS, but in NPS there is no inflation index, because based on the market conditions we will be getting our annuity. So from the contributed money from GPS they can withdraw once in a year, but NPS we cannot withdraw till age of 60 years. In UPS also we cannot withdraw. There is no lump sum payment in OPS and NPS, but 10% of the monthly emoluments for 6 months taken as unit, so that will be paid in UPS. That is a new feature. And VRS, one person is eligible for VRS after 20 years of service, but here you can see in UPS Unified Pension Scheme 25% is the minimum required service. But here if a person dies or takes VRS, only 20% of the commuted corpus. For example, a person joined in employment at the age of 25 years. If he completed 15 years of service, roughly he would have 30 lakhs in his fund account. 20% of that 6 lakhs will be given right away now, and the remaining 24 lakh will be stayed invested in pension fund. At the age of 60 years he can take, family can take 60% of that amount, and the remaining 40% will be given as annuity purchases. The minimum person was 9,000 in old pension scheme, that 1,000 enhanced, 10,000 plus D after superannuation is the minimum requirement, but that minimum requirement is 10 years of service. So old pension scheme, family pension will be 60% of the basic or 30% of the family pension. OPS to family till date of 60 years service of deceased employee. If an employee, this is a new change in NPS, if an employee dies before attainment of 60 years, then OPS will be implemented to their families. So 50% of the basic will be given, and after that 30% of the family pension will be given, and here UPS 30% of the family pension will be given. So these are the conditions for family pension. So friends, please suggest about NPS or UPS or OPS, which is best one and which is a better one to opt for, what to do from NPS, to whether to shift from NPS to UPS or to stay invested in NPS. So please express your opinions through comments to help others learn about this recently launched UPS. Thank you friends for watching my video.